Hey folks, today we are taking a look at the JRX gift set from Transformers Car Robots. So let's go ahead and check out what's in the box. So here are the members of the JRX team, otherwise known as Team Bullet Train. We have J5, J4, and J7. Now each one of these guys represents a different train that can be found in Japan. J4 is a Nozomi 500 bullet train. I'm sorry, J5 is a Nozomi 500 bullet train. J4 is an E4 Max bullet train. And J7 is a Railstar 700 bullet train. Now each of these guys also did appear in Transformers R.I.D. as Railspike, Rapid Run, and Midnight Express. Each one of these figures is roughly the same size. There isn't much difference in the overall length, but the transformations for each character is significantly different, as opposed to, say, the Brave series, where there was a train team, three trains made up a team, and they all had practically the same exact transformation. Well, these guys are all significantly different. So the train team can combine into just a train. Now, each of them does have a hitch on the back. So you can go ahead and take the hitch here and plug him into his plug port there, and then plug it in. Oop, I actually have the hitch upside down on this guy, so we'll actually have him upside down on two of the guys. So give me just a second here to correct that. So we've got a J5, J4, and J7 all hitched up and ready to go. So as you can see, they all can form a train together, and they all can switch places. It doesn't really matter how you have them set up. So now that we've taken a look at the train modes, let's get into the transformations, and we're going to go ahead and start off with Railspike, otherwise known as J5. For J5, we're going to first pull the rear of the train straight out, and then split this section open, or split the section in half to form the legs, thus revealing his weapon. Turn the figure around so we can fold out the feet. Alright, and then we're going to twist the legs like that. Next we'll take the front of the vehicle and split it open to form the shoulders, and then fold out the arms. Then take this piece up here and fold that down to form the head. And then pop the head up, and there we go. Here is J5. J4, otherwise known as Midnight Express, is probably one of the more unique transformations. First, we'll pull out this section, which is going to make part of the gun. Then grab the top part of the middle and the bottom part of the middle, and kind of pull. Fortunately, that isn't coming apart. So what we'll do is pull the front of the vehicle out like that, and pull the back of the vehicle out like that, and then that will allow us to separate the sections like that. Fold down this little piece from the bottom of the chest, twist around and fold the legs down like that. And then for the feet, for the right foot, twist the front of the vehicle forward, flip it up, and then flip the wheels out from underneath. Then for the back of the vehicle, flip that part down, pull it out, spin it around, and fold out the foot. Unfortunately, this section does not turn around. I wish it did. For the top of the figure, reach under the wing on the left and pull out this section. This will be part of his weapon. Flip those up, fold them out, and fold down the arms. And then we come up here and push to flip up the head like that. And here we have Midnight Express. Last but not least is J7. Split the back apart and pull out the gun. Then there's a little bit on the side there. I don't know how well you can see that. You have to get your nail in there and flip that up, and then that will allow you to pull this whole section off. Now this will become his weapon / shield. It's a very weird weapon, so we'll attach his hitch in there. We'll see if we can get that to clip. And we'll just put this off to the side, and take the train, come into the middle of the train, Kind of pull the middle of the back out a little bit like that so you can flip these inner parts out. And then we will fold out the arms. Take the back section, pull it to flip out the legs, extend the feet, twist that whole section around, and then fold the engine face in to the body, and flip up the head. And here we have J7. Now each member does come with a weapon that attaches. For J4, what we'll do is this little light up thing, take the green part, put it forward like that, flip up the stock, and then we can flip out this little hinge. Now it can either be a sword or a rocket launcher of sort. It's very, very multi-purpose, this. Oh, and it lights up, as I said. For J4, we've got all these bits. So first off, we'll take this section that was under his arm and flip the handle down. Then taking this section, that side won't go in, but this side will. So we just need to line it up with the correct parts, and then flip this part, this hitch down and then back up to form a sight. And then here, and then we have ourselves a little missile launcher. And for J7 I already showed you, so just get it like that. This will act as a shield and a gun. And this is supposed to go in and clip in, but unfortunately it looks like the spring is busted. Yep, spring is busted. Oh well. I don't think the spring has ever worked. Ah, there, got it to lock. Then you flip these parts up like that, so he's got a nice little shield gun going. Very cool. So here are the three guys all in robot mode. Now I do find it funny that the leader of the group is also the shortest. One thing I did forget to show you is that J7 does have some heels that you could flip out like that. And that definitely adds to his stability a bit. Now, all of these guys are unique, interesting, and very cool looking on their own. J5's head sculpt is very nice. Kind of has a train slash jet motif to it, because here's the canopy. But I like the robotic beard he's got going there. I do kind of dig that. I like that a lot. J4's head sculpt is much more youthful, we'll say. Definitely more youthful than J7's. Definitely looks like a train there. I like his head sculpt. I think his head sculpt is my favorite of the three. And then J7 looks like some kind of weird bird. It looks like a Pokemon, to be honest. It does look like a train, but it looks like the face of a Pokemon. Or maybe, I'm not sure what that face reminds me of. Maybe a Monster Bot. Maybe it looks like a Monster Bot. Anyway, so these three guys are all really nice, really cool. I really like all three of them. They are a lot of fun. And they all have just about the same posability. They all have a swivel in the head, except for J4 here with the extra ball joint. They all have shoulder articulation. Rail spike. I keep combining their Japanese and US names. So this guy, he has a swivel, and then he's got two swivels for arm movement, and then double ball joint. Ball joint in the leg with some, you can open up the side skirts here. So ball joint there, hinge joint in the knee, some foot articulation. J7 has almost the exact same articulation, except the head does not move. Ball joint in the shoulder, hinge joint on the elbow and wrist, ball joint in the hip, hinge joint in the knee, feet can articulate. J4 here, same ball joint in the shoulder, hinge joint in the arms, ratchet joint in the legs, and there's a reason for that, and forward and back. Swivel joint, and then a knee joint right next to it, and then some articulation in the feet. Not much. So yeah, they all have pretty much the same articulation, but the thing that really makes me happy about this set is they are all significantly different. Yeah, they're all trains. They all have different transformations. They all have they're all different characters, and they are all unique. There are no repaints. There are no duplicates. It's kind of like, the reason I like the Constructicons is because each one of those figures is unique, yet they all combine. So, speaking of the combination, so I've returned J5 and J7 to vehicle modes without their accessories, and I've left J4 in robot mode. So we'll start with J4 first. For J4, what we're going to do is kind of do a half return. So we'll flip his head up, or flip his head down, flip up that flap in the front, fold his arms up under the wings, and then push the midsection down, and that's it. We're going to stop there. Next, we'll take J5 and reach behind and split the rear section apart, and then continue dividing that train in half and pop a ball joint, because we just have to. Then take the arms and pull them down, and then reach inside the back of the vehicle modes and pull out some fists. When I forgot, in robot mode you can fold these down as well for heels. So pull those down and out for arms, like that. And then he will... Nope, no, he won't attach right there. So we're just about there with him. There we go. And then J7 is a little weird. This is legitimately strange. We'll start by twisting the legs around and then opening up this section to expose the arms like that. Or actually put them forward like that. Then turn the front of the engine around and pop the front off like that. So what's gonna happen here is this is going to drop right onto J4 and peg in like that. And then there is a hole back here that the rear of the train will peg into. So now that we got the two attached, what do we do with all this? Well, what we're going to do first is there is a slider here, so we're going to slide this whole section back. And so we got to get this to slide back like that. There we go. Then take the arms and just kind of put the hands straight out back. We'll do something with them later. Next, fold the leg parts in like that, and then split, then open up the legs thusly. And what we're really supposed to do is get them so that they are folding down. Now, I actually have them turned the wrong way, so I need to do that. And then fold the legs down like that. And then we could just do something with the hands. So we could just put them straight up like that. And this will give us clearance to add the last guy. So for this part, what we need to make sure of is that the arms are all the way forward, as far forward as we can get them. So there's a double set of couple of hinges in there that we need to work out, and then get that pushed all the way forward. And then we can drop him right on top. Last but not least, we will deploy the giant robot head. So get your nail in behind the canopy there and pull up. Hopefully you won't pull the guy's hat right off. JRX's head sculpt is more like an evolution of Railspike / J5. It's very, very similar with that swoop back head and uber chin. So it's more like just an evolution of J5's head, though it is very, very cool. Here we have JRX completed in robot mode. I have to say that I really like this guy. I think he looks really good, and it's a lot of fun to have this figure displayed. There are quite a few issues, though, with this mold, or with these figures and this combined mode, and I'll get to those in a second. But I want to talk about the good stuff here. Overall, the figure just looks cool. He looks fast. He looks just really, really neat. And it's a joy having this guy in my collection. I love the look of him, and I just love having him on my shelf. Now, that being said, let's get into some of the stuff that isn't so great. Well, let's zoom in here a little bit and I'll show you what I'm talking about. The first thing we need to talk about is this figure is incredibly top-heavy and has one hell of a backpack. I really don't like the fact that the J7's robot arms are hanging off back here. I can deal with it. They don't get seen all that much, but I will admit they do make a fantastic weapon holster. So you could just plug the weapons into the back, into his hands. That's pretty cool. The top heaviness is a severe problem because even though the heels are really big, they aren't big enough to keep the figure on balance. It's just a major, major problem. His actual center of balance is back here, right along this line where J7's leg is pointing down that forms like a thruster. That's where his center of balance is, not up here where it should be, above the leg. And that is a big problem. The other problem is because of the weight of the figure, these joints, these parts that snap the leg up and keep it together are much too loose. I mean, I can just put the figure down, I'll turn around, and then he'll drop because the legs just drop on me. It really is annoying. So you saw it just drop like that. That is very, very annoying. And this center piece right here doesn't lock into place either. That also annoying. So I keep having to pull his legs back up. Screw it. So that's two major issues right there. And I think that's just design issues. There's really nothing I can do about that except complain about them. And I'm actually pretty good at that. Oh, there we go. Just wasn't getting lined up. There. So the other issue I have is with the arms. And even though they stay up, you saw earlier when I was transforming it, these ball joints, ever since I've owned this set, these ball joints just are incredibly loose, pop off much too easily. Just way, way too easily. And the figure doesn't stay together all that well. These connections here in the center are fine. There's nothing wrong with those. But it's the hinges here that form the arms. The head doesn't lock into place. These, I guess that you call them, I don't know what kind of joints these are. These joints aren't stiff enough to hold the whole figure together. They're just minor problems, minor design problems that I think could have been addressed when the figure was designed but weren't. Now this is the Japanese version. This is the Japanese set of the figures. I don't own the American version, nor have I ever seen any of the American versions out of box. So I don't know if the American versions suffer from these same issues. That being said, I like the figure. I like the set. It is one of my favorite sets from the let's see, before Armada series. Car Robots is a good line, and I really do appreciate this set. But there are issues. I mean, I'm terrified to actually move the thing or try to pose it because, well, it feels like it's going to fall apart. Now, posability, it does have head articulation. It does have the arm articulation, a swivel there, ball joint, hinge, no fist articulation. Legs can bend, but I don't know why you would want to. It does have weapons. The two weapons from J5 and J7 can combine into one blaster, and he can hold them like that. And then, I'm sorry, J4 and J5. J7's shield can be held in the other hand. That's great. But even though this figure is a lot of fun, and I like it a lot, it is rather troublesome. So individually, the figures are fine. As the combined unit, however, the combined unit has some issues. And would I recommend the set? I really can't recommend the set unless this is something you have to have. If you have to have a Rail Racer / JRX, go ahead and get it. But be warned, there are issues with this set. It's not perfect by any means.